Good morning everybody, Julie from Active Mum. Sorry my voice is a little squeaky today. Today I went to a Pilates session, so sometimes I'll just duck out and do a class that I can participate in. It's nice just to get your own workout in and not have to think. As I was doing that, we were in a plank. So we were doing a plank on a reformer bed, which is quite taxing on the core. So while I was doing it, I'm really aware as a trainer, and basically all we do is teach women, particularly after they have babies, about their core. So as I was doing the exercise, I was really aware that as I'm doing that, my stomach's bulging or I'm rounding through my shoulders, and I'm able to correct my posture and my alignment so that I'm not causing damage. But as I was doing the exercise, I just had a glance around the room at the other participants in the room, just to have a look at what was going on, because realistically the exercise that we're doing, it was really quite intense, and I knew that the majority of the people in that room, that there is no way that they could have been activating their core correctly and holding it for the period of time that we were asked to hold it for. So I just wanted to give you a few quick tips on the plank so that you can do it correctly in good form, rather than holding it for really long lengths of time and causing your body further damage. If we look at some of the common things that go wrong with the plank, one is we see a lot of these things on the internet where we see people holding records for holding the plank for really long periods of time. Realistically, your core in the plank position, your deepest layer of abdominal, can only activate for about 10 seconds at a time. Instead of holding a plank for say a minute, then what you're better off doing is holding for 10 and then resting for 5. Holding for 10, resting for 5. 10 seconds, 5 seconds. So 10 seconds on, 5 seconds off. Yep. Then that way you're going to be able to activate the deepest layer of abdominal without actually causing damage or impacting. So what will happen is, after a period of time, your core will start to switch off and you'll start to get a doming through the belly. Yeah. And when that happens, you're not actually creating a flat tummy that you're trying to go for. You're actually creating the domed effect, and it can cause further implications if you've got abdominal separation, etc. The other tip that I would give is, quite often people are holding their plank and they'll be down here and they'll be on their forearms, okay, and they'll go up onto their toes and they'll start rounding down. So they'll be putting a lot of pressure through the shoulders, the upper back will round and the tummy will dome. A quick tip for that would be, instead of having the palms facing down, turn your palms up. Yep, it's a lot harder to bear down when your palms are facing up. You get your shoulders down and back, and you can hold there like so. Alrighty, so instead of having it down. But realistically, choose your knees if you need to, if you're finding that your shoulders are rounding off. So as I looked around that room of people on their Pilates bed doing the plank, these are the things that I saw. Ladies with shoulders rounding, so they're holding the plank, they're really rounding off in the shoulders. You can see my upper back there is coming into that rounded shape, and as they're doing that, they're actually bearing down on their tummy or their core, which is placing pressure on the pelvic floor and the deep abdominals. Okay, so we want to avoid that. We really want to make sure when we hold a plank that we can get our shoulders down and back. And I always say, shoulder blades, put your shoulder blades in your back pocket so you can maintain that plank. You can do it on your hands or your forearms, but your shoulders need to be down and back. The other thing that I see in the plank is that the back is dipping out. So we're losing our core, tummy's bulging forward, and the back is dipping, so that they're looking a little bit more like this. Yep, so as they're doing that, it's quite hard to do, but yeah, so they're losing their core here at the front. Their back's dipping, they're placing strain into that low back and bearing down onto the pelvic floor. So we really want to avoid that. So the main things that we were seeing there, the other thing that I noticed too, was there was a lady, she was wearing quite a tight singlet, so I could really notice this, and probably no one else would really notice that that was going on. But she was holding the plank in quite an intense position. She was up on her hands, feet up on the back of the reformer bed, doing the exercise that we were instructed to do. And from underneath, I could see that her tummy was doming out, and where her belly button was, she actually had a belly button ring, but I could see the whole abdominal area here starting to protrude. Okay, I don't know if this lady had had children or not, but there was definitely pressure there that would be causing some abdominal separation, or if she already had it, it was spilling out. So, really be mindful of these things. You don't need to hold a plank for a long time. 10 seconds on, 5 seconds off. Make sure your shoulders are down and back. Don't be bearing down. Make sure your back is nice and level. We're not dropping out and dipping through the back. Alrighty, and then making sure that we're not placing so much strain that the whole insides are pressing forward, which often happens. The other thing I noticed too was people gripping on through their neck. So I could see the neck muscles really working, okay? The neck should be nice and relaxed. It should be a nice long neck, and not crunched up near the ears. So let's remember that. Shoulders down and back, tummy drawing up, back nice and level, holding for 10 seconds at a time with 5 seconds off, and not just holding on and crunching through because then we're going to be bearing down through the pelvic floor and placing strain on the core. One more tip, there are lots of other things we can do to work the core rather than our planks and standard sit-ups. Super important that we get those deep abdominals activating. Take care and have a great day.